I've got a video with a difference, and today am going to prove to you that the world that we live on is flat, that the world we live in isn't a globe like we've been led to believe. It's actually a flat plane of existence that we live on. And I'm going to prove it to you with irrefutable evidence. So let's get into it. So welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome to this here video. Yes, I know this is a film channel and all that sort of thing, video collecting, and that will sort of come into play. You'll see as the video goes on. But here I am. I've been laid awake at nights thinking about this. I've done experiments. I've done experiments out in the real world. We'll come to that. The videos are here. I've conducted experiments on, well, I haven't got a whiteboard, but it's on a bit of paper. You'll see, we'll come to it all. And I've got proof of individuals lying about stuff and this big global conspiracy. I say global. We're not on a globe. We're on a flat earth, aren't we? Aren't we? We've been lied to our entire lives by the education system, by the governments for, I don't know what reason. What is the reason for lying? I don't know. We've been lied to by the likes of government agencies like NASA and other space agencies that we're living on a globe, which makes no sense, does it? But there we go. So let's get into it. All right, so where to begin with this one? Okay, so as you know, we've been led to believe, yes, that we live upon a globe, but it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And I've seen the war in factions between the people who believe in the globe and the people who believe in the flat earth and all this, and I was always one side of it. But then I thought about it, right, and I got indoctrinated by all these videos of these flat earthers, and I thought to myself, do you know what, I want to be part of something. I'm so weak in mind that I want to be part of this. So I headed that way, but also I'd done my own experiments, and I'm going to prove to you, like I said, with irrefutable evidence that you cannot argue against, that we are on a flat planet. Is planet even a word to use? Right, I don't know. Does planet imply a globe? I don't know. But there we go. And I'll show you at the end, with the use of a physical media disc, the truth. Yes. So, but there's other conspiracies that come into play in this as well. There are indeed. Now, one of the biggest components of this argument is Australia. Yes, Australia, we all know it. The land down under. Now, I caught out one of my, well, I caught out, shall we say. I caught out one of my so-called YouTube colleagues, if you want a better term, basically the channel Oceans Reviews over in Australia, run by Dan. I've had him on a live stream a few times, and on the last live stream we done, we had a little bit of a discussion. Yeah, take a look. And also we have on from the home of Max Rokachansky and Mick Dundee comes Dan from Oceans Reviews, from the land down under. How are you, Dan?
Yeah, pretty good. Doing good.
I've got a quick question for you. How do you get around without losing all the change in your pocket?
What do you mean? Is well, that supposed to be like a...
You're upside down, aren't you?
That's a good one. I'll stop that.
Also, I've heard rumours from people who are, you know, these people who buy into what are they called? You know, like the moon landing being a hoax. I've heard rumours that koala bears are a hoax.
Yeah, there's a few stories that we tell foreigners about koalas,
Yeah.
to sort of, scare people off a bit. Like we call them drop bears,
Drop that.
So yeah, and they're like you see, if you search up drop bears on Google, you'll see.
So there we go. There we go. So I challenged him about, you know, do you lose all the coins out of your pocket because you're upside down? You're upside down there, so why wouldn't you lose all the coins in your pocket? Now, I'm an expert on gravity. I am, because I've lived in it for, well, the better part of my life. I've lived within gravity, so that makes me, by definition, an expert, right? And I know full well that gravity works in such a way that only certain things are pulled towards the Earth's core. Yeah. So on this occasion, I said to him, why don't you lose the coins in your pockets? And you could see his face. You could see his face. I pinpointed the moment. There it is, the moment when he realised, hold on a minute, he's on to us. Now, you've got to remember that Australia as a country, they're not to be trusted. They're not to be trusted at all. Why? Because they're all criminals. They're all ex-convicts. A lot of them are ex-British convicts. We shipped them there to Botany Bay back in the day.
Botany Bay. Botany Bay. Oh no.
So it stands to reason that, number one, they don't like us or the rest of the world. They've got it in for us, so why not lie to us? Yeah, I mean, take for example Mad Max. You know, a good example of an Australian fella, right? Now, Mad Max, what's made him mad? What's made him mad? We never found out, right? In the film, we assume that it's the fact that his wife and kids are like run down and killed in the road. Well, why are you walking and running down the middle of the road? That's just stupid. That makes no sense whatsoever, right? I think the madness started before that, because the coins falling from the guy's pockets. It makes sense, right? You saw Dan in that conversation. Drop bears. Drop bears. This is where the conspiracy gets deeper, and this conspiracy runs deep. This conspiracy runs high. It goes all the way to the White House down. Yes, drop bears. So he told me, and I looked it up, right? And he said it's to do with telling foreigners that bears are jumping out of trees onto them. Bears, these are koala bears. Koala bears jumping out of the tree. But I think the truth is that, you know, it is something far darker. I could say it's to do with gravity and the fact that the bears are actually dropping out of the trees and out into the atmosphere because they're upside down, so they have to cling on. They let go and they just fall off into the atmosphere. That kind of makes sense. But no, we're on a flat plane, so something else is going on. Yes, so what is happening to the koala bears? Their numbers are in decline. Or will be soon. And this all comes down to, yes, I know, a bear, a marsupial. A marsupial. This is what they call them down there, marsupials, right? But let's break that down. And then we can figure out what's really going on with the koala bear. Marsupial. Break that word down. Marsupial. 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 So these Australians are catching these little bears, right? These cute little things that can't harm you in any way, shape or form, attacking you out of the trees. No, they're capturing them and they're souping them up. They're souping them up and they're selling it on the black market. Mars soup eat all. Makes sense, doesn't it? It certainly does. Right? And then New Zealand. It's basically Australia, isn't it? Yeah? But Mandela has us believing that it keeps changing places. Where actually is it? Where does it exist? I don't know. Middle Earth would have you believe that it's a beautiful place. But is it? Is it? It's run by Australians. They've got the same bloody accent. So they've probably got the same ethics, the same morals, the same moral compass, which is pretty damn low. These conspiracies are getting deeper and deeper. So I done a little experiment. Anyway, this experiment was conducted on a bit of paper, right? Now, okay, so experiment number 1, the drop bear proof. Okay, so here we have a circle representing the planet Earth, round like a ball. But let's see what happens, shall we, if it was round. So here we are in the UK, up the top. We're at the top because we're the best. So that positions us at the top. Do you see the irony here with Australia? Well, actually, if they do say that if you go straight through the Earth, you come to New Zealand. But they're basically the same. Come on, people. So anyway, there we go. But the ever shifting, which we'll come on to. So there we go. So drop bears. So we take them to Australia. They're now upside down. So what would happen? What would happen? Drop bears. Drop bears. Exactly. Look at that. Look, gravity's even working for us. The drop bear. So it makes no sense. Gravity would make that happen. And proof is there. Yes, there we go. It took its time, but it fell. Drop bears. They would drop off. The same would happen with Kylie Minogue. Okay, so there we go. You can't argue with that evidence. That irrefutable evidence of the drop bear. Okay, and now I want to talk about 2 famous actors, and you'll understand why, right? This is, you got Denzel Washington and you got Tom Hanks, right? Both actors that in their own right are fantastic. Both very inoffensive individuals. Both do projects that are always worth watching, right? They're almost interchangeable. It's almost like Denzel is the black man's Tom Hanks and Tom Hanks is the white man's Denzel Washington. Put them together and what do you get? You get Robert Downey Jr. Someone who's somewhat more morally questionable.
You're serious? You don't know? Everybody knows you never go full retard.
What do you mean?
Check it out. Dustin Hoffman, Rain Man, look retarded, act retarded, not retarded. Count 2 picks, cheated cards. Autistic, sure, not retarded. You got Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump. Slow, yes, retarded, maybe, braces on his legs, but he charmed the pants off next to him and he won a ping pong competition. That ain't retarded. He was a goddamn war hero. Right. You know any retarded war heroes? You went full retard, man. Never go full retard. You don't buy that? Ask Sean Penn, 2001, I Am Sam. Remember? Went full retard. Went home empty-handed.
So anyway, a while back, we had that film, Sully. You know the one, where Denzel Washington flies his aeroplane upside down and lands it on the Hudson Hawk River. Yes, so, I've done this little experiment. And you see what happens, right? Here we go now. And now, so, Denzel Washington, Sully. Yes, so he landed this aeroplane. He was flying this little aeroplane. I've done one there. And he flew this aeroplane upside down. He flew it upside down and he landed it on the Hudson Hawk River. But let's presume he didn't land it and he was flying upside down. Let's see what happens, shall we? So he carries on a straight path. Okay, for this he's got unlimited fuel and, you know, the plane is able to fly upside down. So here he goes. There he is. There's Denzel. Sully going around. And look what happened. Oh my God. Makes little sense. He's now the right way up. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with this. And it works the same way. It works the same way. Which makes no sense. That planes fly like this, but if they continue around, then you end up upside down. Upside down means one thing. Gravity kicks in. Like that. And you fall. Oh my God. Again, irrefutable proof. Irrefutable proof that the world we live on is not a globe. Why didn't Mulder and Scully investigate this one? If that would fall, so would Kylie Minogue. All right, see, you know what I'm saying. All right, gravity is making it fall. There we go. Irrefutable proof, folks. Irrefutable proof. So there we go. There we go. So, also, you know, that's irrefutable. That's irrefutable. If that plane hadn't landed in the Hudson Hawk, it would have continued upside down all the way around the world until Denzel was the right way up. Sully would have been upright, wouldn't he? He would have been. So again, proof there. The proof is in the pudding. Right? Back to Australia. Kylie Minogue. She's of diminutive stature. She's very small. Why wouldn't she drop off? I don't know. I don't know. Proof, again, that there isn't a globe Earth. Yes. So this other experiment I conducted, it was down in the garden. This is where I went into the real world, right? Real world experimentation. You get no better than that, right? So I stepped out into the garden. I had my wife filming me. Let's take a look at this experiment I carried out. Okay, so I'm outside for my experiment. Now, as you can see, we are stood on a man-made surface. So this is an unfair place to conduct said experiment because as man-made, I can make it flat. So I'm going to step onto the garden surface, which is grass and dirt, which is natural. There's no man-made element there. So we're going to conduct it from there. So hold on 1 minute, let me go through it. Oh, no. Cut. I've trodden dog crap. So, let's get back to it. So, as you can see, if I hold this at chest height, I am recording a height of 53 inches to the ground. So if I drop it, let's drop it off. That drops 53 inches. Now, I'm going to do the same. Hold it at chest height, 53 inches. Now, if I hold it at arm's length, it should be falling further because of that curvature. But does it? Flop it off. No. It still falls to 53 inch. And therein is the proof. Let's go talk about it on a bit of paper. Okay, let's now return to my piece of paper that we have. Now, if I spin the earth like that, that's better because I need the space. Because I'm going to draw on this now. So you saw me outside, you saw that, and this is what I mean. So here I am. Okay, all right, I will admit, not to scale. Fantastic. So, let's see the outcomes. So, first of all, I dropped that tape measure from chest height to the floor. Yeah? admittedly, yes. Then I had an outstretched arm, like that. There's my hand, very stupid looking hand. And then I dropped the tape measure again from palm height, which is the same height, because it's along that line. But look what happens. You can distinctly see this line here, which I'll shoddily draw along. Doesn't matter. You can see that this landed above that line, yet this one here landed below that line. But was that the case in the real world? No, it wasn't. So again, proof that the world we live on is flat. Argue with that one, globe believers. So there we go again. Proof. Proof. You know, it's undeniable. That is undeniable proof that the world is flat. You cannot argue against it. Measurements, mathematics. It can't be argued against. And yes, I've done it on natural land, not a man-made structure. Natural land. Tell me the Earth is round, is a globe. It's not. Like I said, this goes all the way, all the way. The core is rotten here somewhere. The core is rotten. What more is there? What more is there? So, I've presented you with evidence of the upside down aeroplane. I've presented you with evidence of dropping something and the measurements being the same when, as you can see on that bit of paper, they wouldn't be. There would be a distinct difference. Also, if the world was a globe, would I not always be walking downhill? Sometimes I have to walk up them. There we go. It's funny because we always get photos, and this is where a film comes into play. And we'll take a look. We'll take a look at one. Not that one. The image ain't great. This is a family-friendly channel. Just take another one here. Okay, Natalie Portman, you can help me out with this one. Okay, so we see photos shot by NASA from space, from the moon. How does the Earth look? The Earth always looks like that, doesn't it? Always. There's no denying that that is how the Earth looks. Round. Okay, why is that? Strange, isn't it? Because if I do that, it becomes flat. See what I'm saying here? Now, I know that there are changes towards the Earth, but you've got to remember, you're looking out there, the camera lens is coming back through an atmosphere full of liquid, you know, of water. And what happens with water and light? You get refraction, much like in the desert where you get mirages. So depending on the water content, on what the weather's doing and stuff like that on the planet, what happens is that it changes. What you see actually changes from out there, and NASA and people, everyone else, make you believe, well, actually that's the globe spinning, but it's refraction, people. It's refraction. So we go like that, and we go like that. Irrefutable. You cannot argue that. We go from looking like you're on a globe. No, we're on a flat. We're on a flat. See what I mean? You can't argue this stuff. You cannot argue this evidence. You'd be foolish to try. Put that back. Thanks, Natalie. The closest one to hand. So there we go. I would love to see you Globers knock this one out of the water. Knock my evidence out. I've been around long enough. I've been around long enough to clock on to what's going on out there, to clock on to the lies that are being told to us, the lies that the Earth is actually is a globe. It just doesn't make any sense when you think about it at all, does it? It's nonsense, complete and utter nonsense. I'm going to start digging into why. Why? That's the big question. Why the governments of the world, the scientists, NASA, need us to believe why the Earth is a globe. Because, let's be honest, if the Earth is flat or the Earth is a globe, does it make any difference to my life? No, it doesn't make any difference to my life. But they're all in on it. All of them, including Australia. They're the ones to watch out for. This is AJ, with his evidence, brought to you with the help of film. Think about it. Sleep on it before you comment. Tell me your thoughts.